For over 400 years, black men and women had endured slavery and hardships. Even in this modern time, black people are seen as inferior and are looked down upon. There have always been ways to enslave the black community. Imagine having your dignity taken away from you, or you cannot even walk out of your house without the fear of being killed. As Will Smith said, racism is not getting worse, it's getting filmed. We repeatedly see eruptions and riots after yet another black man getting killed from police brutality. More recently, we saw the killing of George Floyd, which has drawn the most attention to the brutality that the black people face from the police in America. These killings have only gotten worse over the last few decades and creates more segregation. Journey with me on a black man's take on police brutality. I am Jolly Swag.
What goes through your mind every day when your dad or family leaves the house, keeping in mind the police brutality?
Well, personally, thinking about relationships, me and my family, my friends, we all make it known to let each other know. And I think this is a big thing, letting each other know how much they mean to us before they leave the house. Like I tell my friends, and those close to me, I love you before you leave the house, because we do not know what can happen outside. And I think that's a big thing. Everybody know how you feel about them before they go, because people get killed by the police. People get killed every day in 1,000 different ways. So what's in my head when I leave the house, I generally do not have a fear of leaving the house, knowing our police, or a fear of my friends leaving the house, because I'm very, very spiritual, saying that I can only control what is here and now. So, and I'm very aware that police brutality has been around for years. I'm very aware that kids grow up racist and become police primarily to terrorize the black community. I am aware that people who were taken advantage of often become police to then take advantage of other people. So I know that I can only control what I physically can control here and now. So I don't fear the police, but there is a uneasy feeling every time I do think about police, or when I'm doing something and I see police outside, I'll have a second thought like, ooh, what if they catch us? But it's really concerning too, because I'm supposed to look at police and think, ooh, like, oh, we're safe, police is around, nothing's gonna happen. But when I see police, it's like, oh, something is gonna happen. So that's the only thing that disturbs me. Like, I don't like when I see police, I feel disturbed, but I do not fear police in the everyday setting.
Yeah, great point. Because, and as you said, you heard Renee, that you have to tell your friends that you love them because you don't know what's gonna happen, and
Right.
there shouldn't be a fear of police, but there
Right.
is. So you just have to. It's not necessarily, you shouldn't be feared and crying every time somebody pulls up on you. You just have to be aware, and you shouldn't be rude or test him because he has a gun. At the end
Exactly.
of the day, he has a gun, and people die from police every single day. So
Exactly.
I believe for the
That's a
last.
good point. That was a good point. A lot of people are often expecting them to come off rude and aggressive, and then they start off the meeting on edge, like on guard. And police can feel that. All people can feel a person's energy, like when they feel uneasy. If you
Definitely.
talk to police, I feel like all people should talk to police as if they were talking to their best friend. Like, people hate the police, so when they're confronted by the police, they feel the conflict, and you don't even know them. People are
Yeah.
people. People are people. So just treat all police kindly, but just be aware that some police are in the uniform to be mean, to be terrorists, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, then you have to give them respect, and then sometimes people are just, they don't expect anything back, and when the police officer does leave them a ticket and he does show some anger back or disrespect back, they act shook or something. Like, you should expect that if you're already showing disrespect to him, just because there have been other police officers that have been racist. I mean, a lot of police officers are racist, but you shouldn't come with the approach, oh, I'm gonna be disrespectful because of all the
Right,
things, and because he is a police officer in general.
right. And a
So
lot of
speaking.
people, that's true. And one more thing, a lot of people have like pride. Pride will get people killed. I know you've heard that. But with the police, it's like they don't want to give in to authority. even though that they are in like authority, they have the right to regulate laws, tell us what to do. Nobody wants to give in, especially police, because they've been seen doing such inhumane things. Nobody wants to give their pride aside, throw their pride aside to comply with the police because there's no trust. When and it's the only thing that's keeping order. It's like we have to rely on them a little bit. So you have to always be kind. Like even when you know they're doing something wrong, when given the choice between being right and being kind, you should always choose kind because things will go way better.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point because kindness can like take you further because even if you think it's right, it may not be right, but kindness will always end up with the right thing because like
Exactly.
the right way could be wrong and the kind way can never be wrong because it's showing respect, which we
Right.
talked about already. So
Exactly.
speaking of the point with police officers, if you could leave a message to all racist police officers, what would you say?
That's tough because racism is a deeper problem than that. That's like how they were raised, the environment they're brought up in. But I would just tell them that we are the same. People are people. Like I don't judge you for how you grew up. I can only show you how I grew up. So
So that was a great conversation of overall. We talked about racial injustices and how you should treat white people. Think about both sides of the story. Once again, my name is Jolly Swag, and I was here today with Renee. I'm out.